I am the famous American, and I have a question for you. Out of all of the Asian countries, which has a culture most similar and perhaps most accepting of American culture here from the United States? Now, I'm going to tell you what I believe is the answer, and then I'm going to invite you to correct me where I'm wrong, because maybe I am wrong, and I am open-minded to truth. I want to raise my IQ if I'm wrong. So here it goes. Philippines. And here's why I say that. Because on my phone here, I'm able to see the most popular videos on both of my YouTube channels that I run. And on this channel, the number 3 most popular video, which will soon become number 1 actually, was a video I made called "Which Country Speaks the Best Version of English?" And for some strange, unbeknownst reason to me, I get comments all throughout the day, every day, from people from the Philippines saying, "The Philippines, of course." I would have never even thought about the Philippines being an answer to this question, because in my mind, a country where English is not the first language that people speak, that's not going to be the answer to this question: which country speaks the best version of English? But as far as this video, 90,000 views, nearly 1,000 comments, nearly 1,900 thumbs up. I mean, and the overwhelming narrative here from the comment section is that it's the Philippines. And I'd also made a video too, talking about how one of my favorite bands, Metallica, has quite a following in the Philippines as well. So help me sort this out. Is there something to that? I mean, I've watched Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown episode about the Philippines, and it's talking largely about this, how people from the Philippines come over here and even work in the Philippines and then send the money back to the Philippines, how Filipino people love Christmas, and that's a big part of their culture. So, you know, that's obviously a big part of American culture, but specifically, I can't think of another Asian country that seems more in line with the American perspective, and maybe, shall I say, American values, is the way that it seems to me. I just can't think of any other country that's more like that. And I've been around Filipino people. And when I think of Filipino people, I think of very happy, grateful, hardworking people that you want to be around. I was a teacher a couple summers in Thailand, for example. And man, now that I think about it as I'm doing this video, several of the teachers were from the Philippines. The teachers at that school in Nonthaburi, Thailand, near Bangkok, 1/3 of us were from the United States, 1/3 of us were from Canada, and 1/3 of them were from the Philippines. And I just now put that in perspective. So is it specifically that Filipino people highly value English, so much so that and they grow up speaking it more so than other Asian countries? I mean, granted, I was working at a school in Thailand where even the kids in preschool were learning English alongside Thai, but is it just the language, or is it beyond it? Is it the cultural? But ultimately, I just can't think of another country that has a culture more similar to the United States of America than the Philippines. Please correct me if I'm wrong. And if I'm not wrong, back me up. Let's expand this. Help me understand how this could be. That in theory, the Asian country whose values and culture most aligns with the United States of America is the Philippines. ... And why? You tell me.